So as we all know, social media is an extremely powerful platform. If it is used correctly, it could drive your business success significantly. But if it is used incorrectly, it can be a nightmare. So with that being said, we are going to break down the do's and the don'ts in professional social media. Social media etiquette. Social media has rules and regulations that all brands and businesses should follow, regardless of the industry. What you should and shouldn't do when using professional social media. Let's start off with your language. You shouldn't use any profanities. When responding to comments, you should say please and thank you. You should also watch your tone. Yes, you can have a tone in text. Example, using all capital letters. And lastly, be professional. The next one would be to utilize words such as we, us, and our. Doing this will actually make your brand sound bigger and will make it sound like a community while adding team spirit. Knowing when and how often to post. This is basically knowing the algorithm and watching the statistics to better drive the success of your business. Identify your brand voice and be consistent. So you want to just develop your brand. Your brand does have a personality and you want to be consistent with it. Business tips. 1. Getting to know your audience. You don't want to spam your audience with too much of self-promoting content. You want to have your profile information and links, updated contact information on your profile. You also want to be adding value to your platform. You want to engage your audience and entertain them at the same time. And you should also post curated content.
I am going to expand probably a little more general guidelines. Any small business, medium business, or even a corporate business should follow when it comes to their social media pages. One of the first things you want to do is make sure you have your social media profiles fully updated. You probably would have experienced in the past when you go on a Facebook page or Instagram page, you end up having to message the owner of the page to find out more information. And the more that the person can see from your page without having to get information is better for your company because you allow contact to be much quicker. Another thing is separating your business from your personal accounts. Some people, they tend to try to run their business off their personal accounts. With that, you can have some conflicts ensuing because you may be advertising your product, but at the same time, you will be advertising your personal opinions and stuff like that. Your business may not necessarily reflect your personal opinions, and segregating that will be healthier for your business overall. Another thing you want to look at is sharing thoughtfully. Some people just look at templates and what other people are doing and try to replicate it on their end without thinking fully the other person's post is about. And then you can have conflicting information, people asking you about products and services that you offer that you actually don't. But you saw someone else doing something a certain way and you just try to mimic it and then ended up having a little gray area there. If you share thoughtfully, you are more clear in what you as a company want to get out there. Posting regularly. So everyone is on the social media train right now. And they just set up an Instagram page, a Facebook page, and after they set it up, that's it. They have 1 or 2 posts in the first couple of weeks, and years on and the page is dead after. Eventually people unfollow, people don't care anymore, and they just completely forget about your company in the end. So you always have to make sure to maintain an active posting schedule, right? And at the same time, you also want to make sure these posts have some meaning, right? You don't want to just share garbage data that is just generic and has no meaning. Another thing you want to do is prioritize your networks. So in any business, you have a target audience you are trying to reach. And of course, you want to reach everyone, but you have to prioritize the people who are most likely to want to do business with you. So you have to do your market research, you look at your data analytics and stuff like that. And that will definitely improve your social media page to a big extent compared to others. And one of the most important things I'd say is interacting with your audience. If people post comments, give you feedback and stuff like that, the more you take it into consideration and reply to them, the more they feel a part of your company. Not that they're employed, but there's some meaning behind it. That I give them a suggestion and they took me on and they improved their product. And you know what? I want to support somebody like that who listens to the people in a sense. These are just the general guidelines. Any company that would want to be successful should follow for their social media platform.
I want to talk more about what you do on your personal profiles, the ones that you should separate from your business profiles. What one person says on their personal profile can easily influence what people think of the company as a whole. Here we have a few things to avoid. Politics, complaints. As a company or a business, you'll naturally be interacting with a lot of clients. And you can't count on people not to be able to see what you do on social media unless you are very on top of keeping everything you have private. But on the off chance that they see any particularly dicey political rhetoric on your profiles or complaints or rants, sometimes for a company that they are a part of, it could potentially endanger your future business with that particular person as a representative of their own business or company. So you definitely want to keep these things to a minimum, even though it might seem fairly okay at times. It might be simple or easy to ignore when you make a comment in passing on your socials, but you never know who it's going to reach, you never know who it's going to affect. I'd say that it's very hard to get rid of the social backlash that might come from that. So you really want to keep in mind all these things and avoid them wherever possible. The next point is platform appropriateness, and by that I specifically would mean diluting a brand across the different social platforms just because, in the eagerness to make it big on social media and get word out there about your products, your projects, etc., you might end up thinking that it is the best idea to post everything you have on every single social media there is, or at least the popular ones that you can take advantage of. But doing so kind of dilutes your brand a bit because, sometimes the information you post might be irrelevant on one social platform, for example. You might not want to post a video of something when it is better suited for LinkedIn, or if it should really just be a short message on Twitter. It's not even that formal. And this also feeds into the thing about repetition. In an effort to post as much as possible and be consistent, some businesses make the mistake of posting the same content across several platforms, when in reality each platform is kind of specialized for particular things. So you wouldn't necessarily want to post everything you do on Instagram in the same way you post it on Twitter or Facebook. That's just something to keep an eye out for. And as mentioned before about not spamming your audience, we have some statistics regarding what actually makes people unfollow a brand on social media. We have some sentiments where we have 46% will unfollow because of too many promotional messages, because people tweet too much, or because the information is not relevant, which can also be a symptom of people posting too much. Each social media platform has its own particular purpose. These are just a few tips for each one. So for Instagram, you focus on imagery. Twitter, you build followers organically since it's somewhat of a less formal thing. You don't want to self-promote yourself too much as a business. YouTube, you communicate through video and you have to be consistent, and in LinkedIn is following the same guidelines you would usually follow in a professional setting. This would bring us to the conclusion of the presentation. Etiquette, the steps that will help the company upkeep your own personal profile and use each platform appropriately.